As if the place where you were born, the conditions in which you grew up, or even the expectations around you limited what you could achieve. This is the story of Jeff Bezos, a man who not only dared to dream, but also took action to change his reality, ultimately transforming the world. Imagine this. It's the 1990s. The internet is still a strange, unfamiliar concept to most people. And then someone decides to bet everything on a seemingly crazy idea, selling books online. Back then, many believed that digital commerce would never replace brick-and-mortar stores. Jeff Bezos heard all the criticism, ignored the skeptics, and with nothing more than a garage as his office and a basic computer, laid the foundation for what would become Amazon, a company that revolutionized how Americans shop, work, and live. But before becoming one of the wealthiest individuals on the planet, Jeff Bezos was just a boy with a bold vision, living in a time when few people understood the power of technology. His story isn't just about building an empire. It's about courage, determination, and how the biggest ideas can emerge from the most unexpected places. If you believe stories like this can inspire you to break barriers and chase your own dreams, hit that subscribe button now. This channel is for you, someone who believes in the power of turning adversity into achievement. Ready to discover how Jeff Bezos went from a garage to building one of the greatest legacies in modern history? Let's dive into this incredible journey. Jeffrey Preston Bezos was born on January 12, 1964, in Albuquerque, New Mexico, under circumstances that could have easily limited his potential. His mother, Jackie, was just 17 years old when she gave birth, and his biological father, Ted Jorgensen, soon left the picture. From an early age, Jeff saw how challenging life could be, but also how it was possible to build something extraordinary from very little. His story began in a family without luxuries, but full of determination. When Jackie married Miguel Bezos, a Cuban immigrant who arrived in the United States with almost nothing, Jeff gained not only a stepfather, but also a new perspective on life. Miguel, who adopted Jeff as his own son, demonstrated through his actions that hard work and courage could open doors. He worked tirelessly to provide for the family while teaching Jeff that life rewards persistence, no matter the circumstances. From a young age, Bezos displayed an insatiable curiosity. While other children played with toys, he spent his time dismantling household appliances to figure out how they worked. What some might have seen as stubbornness was actually the early signs of a visionary mind. He dreamed big and saw possibilities where no one else did. But here's the key. He didn't just dream, he acted. Spending summers at his grandparents' ranch in Texas, Jeff took on hard labor and learned a critical lesson. Every effort, no matter how small, contributes to something greater. This is a lesson we can all apply to our own lives. How often do we hold back from trying something because the circumstances don't seem perfect? Jeff's story teaches us that success isn't about where you start. It's about how you respond to what life gives you. So, the question is, what are you doing today to create the life you want? You don't need perfect conditions to take the first step, you just need to start. Take your circumstances, your challenges, and use them as fuel. If Jeff Bezos, with humble beginnings and obstacles along the way, could achieve what he did, why couldn't you? All it takes is the decision to take the next step right now. At one point, Jeff Bezos appeared to be on track for a brilliant career on Wall Street. Working at major financial firms, he had stability, prestige, and a promising future. Yet, despite all his success, something inside him felt unfulfilled. He knew that true potential wasn't realized by simply following safe paths. It required taking risks. In 1994, Jeff Bezos made a decision many considered absurd, leaving a comfortable job to open a bookstore on the internet. At that time, The internet was still a novelty, and most people thought selling books online was a dead-end idea. But Bezos saw something others didn't: the immense potential of technology to transform commerce. He called this his regret minimization framework, a strategy to avoid future regrets. He knew that if he didn't try, he'd spend the rest of his life asking, what if? With his wife, Mackenzie, Bezos moved to Seattle and began building Amazon from a garage. The lack of resources was a daily challenge. Bezos used cheap doors as desks and relied on a small team to process orders. There were days when they personally packed books and rushed to the post office to ship them. It wasn't glamorous, but it was necessary. Criticism was constant. Wall Street colleagues called him crazy. Analysts doubted the internet could compete with major retailers like Barnes and Noble. Some investors said he was throwing away his career. Bezos heard all of it, but instead of letting it bring him down, he used it as fuel. He believed every obstacle was an opportunity to prove the doubters wrong. The challenges were massive. Securing funding was a battle. Bezos had to convince investors to bet on a company operating in what was, for many, uncharted territory. In 1997, when Amazon went public, doubts lingered about whether the company would survive. But Bezos stood firm. He knew he was building something much bigger than a bookstore. He was shaping the future. Take a moment and think, how many times has fear of failure or the opinions of others stopped you from moving forward? Jeff Bezos could have chosen the safety of his secure job, but he opted for risk because he knew the regret of not trying would be far greater. And what about you? What's holding you back today? What challenge are you ready to face to achieve something greater? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your story might inspire someone to take their next step. The year was 1997, and Jeff Bezos was about to prove that his vision wasn't just a dream. It was a transformative reality. Amazon, which had started as a modest online bookstore, was growing at an unprecedented rate. That year, the company went public, marking a pivotal moment for Bezos. It was when the world started paying attention. As Bezos often said, if you double the number of experiments you do per year, you're going to double your creativity. And that's exactly what he did. Bezos didn't just want to sell books. He wanted to create the everything store. This vision drove him to expand Amazon's product offerings to include music, electronics, and eventually almost anything you could imagine. This aggressive expansion completely reshaped the retail market. But Bezos didn't stop there. He had another vision: to turn Amazon into a tech powerhouse. He launched Amazon Prime, offering fast delivery and exclusive access to digital content. It was a move that redefined customer loyalty. Then came Amazon Web Services, AWS, a cloud computing platform that not only generated billions of dollars, but also revolutionized how businesses operate globally. Bezos understood that innovation required courage. In his words, if you decide only to do the things you know will work, you're leaving a lot of opportunity on the table. While many saw Amazon as just an online retailer, Bezos saw an opportunity to shape the future. And he was right. In less than a decade, Amazon grew from a startup operating out of a garage to one of the world's most valuable companies, creating jobs, influencing economies, and changing how we live. This was a turning point for Bezos, but here's the secret: it didn't happen by chance. It was the result of years of hard work, persistence, and the ability to see beyond what others thought possible. Now imagine, what could your turning point look like? Are you waiting for perfect conditions? Jeff Bezos' story shows us that the right moment doesn't come to you. You create it. As he once said, what we need to do is always lean into the future. Maybe your idea, your project, or your next decision is the beginning of something incredible. Share in the comments what inspires you to keep going on your journey. Your turning point could be closer than you think. And that's exactly what Jeff Bezos did. He didn't just want to sell books, he wanted to create the everything store. This vision led him to diversify Amazon's product offerings, adding music, electronics, and eventually almost anything you could imagine. This bold and aggressive expansion completely reshaped the retail industry. But Bezos didn't stop there. He had an even greater vision, transforming Amazon into a technological powerhouse. He launched Amazon Prime, offering fast delivery and exclusive access to digital content. It was a game-changing move that redefined customer loyalty. Then came Amazon Web Services, AWS, a cloud computing platform that not only generated billions of dollars, but also revolutionized how businesses operate worldwide. Bezos understood that innovation required courage. In his words, if you only do things that you know will work, you're leaving a lot of opportunity on the table. While many saw Amazon as just an online retailer, Bezos saw it as a chance to shape the future. And he was right. In less than a decade, Amazon grew from a startup operating out of a garage to one of the world's most valuable companies, creating jobs, influencing economies, and changing how we live. This was a turning point. But here's the secret. It didn't happen by chance. It was the result of years of hard work, persistence, and the ability to see beyond what others thought was possible. Now imagine, what could your turning point look like? Are you waiting for perfect conditions? Jeff Bezos' story shows us that the right moment doesn't come to you, you create it. As he said, what we need to do is always lean into the future. Maybe your idea, your project, or your next decision is the beginning of something incredible. Share in the comments what inspires you to continue your journey. Your turning point might be closer than you think. Jeff Bezos turned a simple idea into one of the greatest success stories of the modern world. Under his leadership, Amazon became much more than an online bookstore. Today, it's the largest retailer in the world, offering everything from essential goods to innovative services. Bezos never settled for comfort. He was always looking for the next step, guided by his philosophy. It's always day one at Amazon. This mindset not only fueled Amazon's growth, but also its diversification into areas like artificial intelligence, advanced logistics, and entertainment. The launch of Amazon Web Services changed how businesses operate globally, while Amazon Prime revolutionized the concepts of fast delivery and streaming. These innovations didn't just set new market standards, they made life more convenient for millions of people. But Bezos' impact extends beyond e-commerce. He literally looked to the stars with the creation of Blue Origin, a company dedicated to making space exploration accessible. His goal? To make space travel as common as commercial flights. As he put it, we need to go to space to save Earth. Bezos' vision reflects his belief that innovation knows no limits and that the future belongs to those who dare to explore it. Beyond his entrepreneurial achievements, Jeff Bezos is often listed as one of the most influential figures of the century. His name has become synonymous with innovation, hard work, and the ability to turn challenges into opportunities. He reminds us that greatness doesn't come from shortcuts, but from perseverance in chasing our dreams. His legacy is not just a reflection of his vision, but also his determination to challenge the status quo. He believes in the power of action, as evidenced in his words. The people who are successful are often those who are willing to do hard things. Now pause and reflect. What legacy are you building? It doesn't have to be as monumental as Amazon or exploring space with rockets, but it can be something that inspires those around you. Think about how your daily choices impact the future. As Jeff Bezos proved, small, consistent actions can lead to massive changes. And you? What steps are you taking today to create a legacy that inspires future generations? Write in the comments. Your story could be the start of something extraordinary. Jeff Bezos' story proves that it doesn't matter where you start. It's what you do with the opportunities, or even the lack of them, that defines your path. He wasn't born into privilege, but he built a legacy that transformed the world, one step at a time. As he famously said, "You don't choose your passions choose you." Think about the dreams you have. How many have been set aside because they seemed too big or the circumstances weren't ideal? Jeff Bezos teaches us that we don't need to wait for the perfect moment. We just need to start. No matter what your challenge is, remember, every obstacle is an opportunity to grow. Jeff Bezos faced skepticism, rejection, and uncertainty, but he persevered because he believed in his vision. And now the question is, what is your vision? What are you willing to do to achieve it? Don't let fear or the opinions of others define your future. As Bezos once said, the greatest barrier to success is the fear of failure. Use this as a reminder that failure is a part of the journey, and true success is reserved for those who dare to persist. And here's the invitation. If you believe that big changes begin with small steps, subscribe to the channel. Join us on this journey of inspiration and discover how stories like this can motivate you to reach for your own dreams. The moment is now. Are you ready to take action? Your next decision could be the start of something extraordinary.